Hello, 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 people out there, anglers, youth alike. We've got some viewers logging on right now. We're just going to wait a bit for more and more people to come on. If you're watching right now, we'd like to thank you for tuning in this Monday evening. And be sure to share this event and let people know about what's going on, because tonight we're going to be introducing a few key people that have been instrumental in bringing this whole youth series to fruition. While more people are coming on, everyone knows who Jeremy DeHart is, and if you don't, he is the owner of Wild West Bass Trail as well as Apex and all the affiliates. He's been very instrumental out west and continues to grow the brand and the media platform across the U.S. And from what I understand, there's some bigger and better things. We've got Zack Thompson, who's an apex angler, a bass angler, a professional. I've known Zack for, well, let's just say a long time. I don't want to say just how long, but quite a few wins. And he's here to join us to talk a little bit about the youth series as well. And I and Jeremy will touch base a little bit later about Apex and what's to come there. And then we have Eugene, Livar, and Seth. And Seth's last name is Starks. I love that last name. I feel like you should be like Iron Man, just like, you know. But you fellas are from Arizona and have pretty much been the catalyst towards the youth organization out there. Well, we're going to go more into that, but you're both some directors. So I just want to let everyone else know right now, as more and more people are logging on, to please type in your questions. We will have people out there to answer them as quickly as possible. We've seen some people out there. Chuck's out there. Hello, Chuck. We've got Jameson out there, who's just a big supporter of Wild West, who helps us quite a bit. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and ask Eugene and Seth to briefly just tell us a little bit about yourself before we go into the agenda and what's going to happen.
Want we go first? Hi, everyone. My name is Eugene Livar. I've been in Arizona for about 5 or 6 years now. I have a son who is 12 years old and an avid fisherman since he was about a year and a half. Drew me back into the sport. During my daytime, I work for public health here for the state health department, and do my best to just help out, volunteer, and try to find ways to grow the sport and keep my son engaged.
Awesome. I feel like this is kind of like the dating game. You guys are interviewing.
I'm not that special, Vince. Thank you, Gene. So I'm Seth. I'm going to be the director for the youth series. My son is also 12. Our kids actually got the opportunity to go fish at a national event in Tennessee a while back, and that was quite an experience. But I think one of the reasons we're doing this is just trying to get the kids out there. I know it's hard. Anytime we go and fish, I just started pro-ams this year. It's hard to leave the kids at home and leave them crying when they're ready to go with you to the lake, right? So our whole family's involved. My son volunteers at the Wild West events. You'll see him handing out weigh bags just because he loves being around the anglers and just being around the whole scene. So great opportunity. I'm excited for what's to come.
Awesome. And I'm going to have Zack just introduce himself a little bit. A lot of us know. I'm going to give a shout out to Nick Cloutier. Who's kind of giving Zack some props for his background. And those are props he bought, Nick. I'm just kidding. Zack, why don't you just let everyone know kind of a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, started out as a young child who just was passionate about bass fishing. And there wasn't really much of an outlet when we were young, Vince. And so I've been able to grow myself and really spend a lot of time tournament fishing, bass fishing. And now that I have 2 children, a 9-year-old and a 5-year-old, I think it's really important that they get involved. And I try my best to keep them involved in as many youth programs as there are, and there just aren't that many. But I just want to help grow the sport, help keep kids involved, keep them outside, keep them engaged. And, Wild West is a great organization, and we're going to be doing great things.
And that's right. And you know what? Before I give the mic to Jeremy, because he likes to talk a lot.
Oh, yeah.
That's a joke. He doesn't say too much. But I just want to we've had some comments about, hey, what's the show going on? And, Jeremy's been working hard to bring a lot of information to the anglers and all of the organizations. And so he's working on, I should say, we're all working on providing a show, if it goes well, it could, bi-weekly, maybe even weekly, where we're bringing in several organizations and tournament directors, youth. We've got some ties to MLF anglers as well as elite anglers that are going to weigh in on a few things. We'd like to get other organizations involved, companies and CEOs that can express some of their thoughts about the industry. So look out for that, because you may be a guest on here. And it's just something that it's everything bass fishing. So if it has something to do with bass fishing, you can actually look forward to it. And I think we're going to be taking some requests about, who you would like to see. And as a brief note, we will be giving away a set of Torch sunglasses, compliments of Torch, as well as Bridgeford Meats has decided they're going to give away, I think, what is it? Five people, 5 packages of some beef jerky. So 6 people, some 6 lucky people will be able to be a part of that draw. So quickly this evening, like I said, we're just going to talk about the youth organization that Jeremy has created. We're going to go a little bit into Apex towards the end, but the big introduction is going to be about Wild West Bass Youth Series. Jeremy, let's just start off really quick and we'll get right into it. What were you thinking and why?
Well, I sat back and watched Seth and Eugene and Nicole create a pretty dominant opportunity for the anglers in the West Coast, basically from Arizona. And as they followed the Wild West Bass Trail team events, you saw their participation grow. The kids became more engaged. My stepdaughter, she came in very engaged with what was going on. Enjoys the atmosphere. It's really been a big help for her to get outdoors, change of atmosphere. So that has, piqued my interest, as well as what we see in the West Coast as a whole, with Monica and her staff, and what Mindy has done in the past in generating participation through the youth in California. It just is I think that we can take the Wild West platform, incorporate this opportunity, build upon it, and really bring in the kids and put them into a different environment, opportunities with events, prizes, keep everything West Coast, and those type of things will generate a lot of these. Nothing against any events going on back east, but it takes a lot. And I think Seth and Eugene would emphasize on the expenditures that go on to get kids back there for their scholarship. We're going to bring that here and provide a platform opportunity in the West Coast for them here.
That we're going to get further into this. I just want to acknowledge a few people that are writing some questions. Like Ashley McKay is already asking, when can we sign up? And we will answer those questions, because I've got all the answers right here that Eugene and Seth basically provided me. But Zack touched on it a little bit about how important it is that we take a stronger role, or I should say the responsibility to our youth. But Eugene and Seth, tell me, what is the mission behind this? I know it's very unselfish, and I know you guys are donating a lot of your time, but what's the true mission behind this?
Vince, I think that's a great question. And when we're looking at the mission, for the Wild West Bass Youth Series, the Youth Series will focus on creating the future generations of angling competitors. And we want to have an emphasis on community enrichment, conservation, and sportsmanship. That's been a focus that we've always had, Seth and I, when we kind of had the reins of the club, something that we want to bring across the West Coast, and make it unique. And we really want to be thankful to Wild West and Jeremy for giving the opportunity to focus on these kids on the West Coast. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
Yeah. And to top that off, Vince, what we see in the angling community is all of the pro anglers and all the anglers that are fishing the Wild West events, they are more than willing to speak out and share baits with the kids and teach the kids. And you wouldn't believe the smiles that come across their faces as they're doing this. It's a once in a lifetime experience. You'd think they're beating Kevin Van Dam every time, even if it's just a weekend warrior guy. Just provide those opportunities to get them the exposure and get them out on the water, and just let them have some fun with their friends.
You touch base on a few things, and I'm going to bring Zack in just for a moment, because there's a lot of moms and dads that don't know how to navigate into this, and I know, speaking for myself, and I don't want to put words into Zach's mouth, but if we had this at a younger age, I would be all over it. I had to wait till I was 16 or 17 and just start donating my money because I was just going to get mopped up. And we have an opportunity now, Zach, to really assist these youth, or the young anglers, I should say, and prep them on what's ahead to come, whether it's, appearance and what they should work on. It's not just about bass fishing, but it's about, camaraderie and how we speak to one another. So I want to applaud Eugene and Seth for really, being the catalyst, but maybe talk a little bit about that, Zach. I mean, you're a father, of two, and you have one that's of age. And what does this mean for a dad like us?
Well, I think, like Seth was saying, the kids just get such a big lift by just seeing these people out in these fancy boats and with all the equipment. That's one just thing that a kid just can see in awe and just really feel, and you can see the excitement in their face, and that's amazing. And being a father, you know what that's doing to that child. But in terms of just competition and fishing, it's also a lot about just self-confidence, being able to get up in front of people, being able to be around people that you might not be totally comfortable with, but being able to express yourself and show your strengths, and just, be a kid in a generation that's got Facebook and YouTube and all these video games and things, but you're actually out there doing something, out in nature and just enjoying what we did as kids. We'd go around the block in our three-wheelers and we were excited. And now kids have all these other outlets that don't let them really get outside. And then you couple that with things like COVID and all these other problems. It's really important these upcoming years to get kids outside, get them engaged, and get them fishing, and being on the West Coast, we have a lot of other issues that maybe keep kids from being outside or wanting to fish. And, fishing is a great outlet. It's a great way to spend your time. And I think this is just going to help as a parent for me to show my kids what I'm passionate about, and they can, hopefully grow in that passion and at least get exposed. But there's tons of kids that, like Seth was saying, you get a kid out on a boat, or Vince, we had to wait till we were old enough to buy our own boat.
Right.
Enough people that we knew to go fishing with for a day. And now, with all of us out there, promoting ourselves and also fishing, and we can spend some time on a weekend or just in general to get a kid out fishing. I think that's great, and as a parent, I want my kids out fishing and they like it. And I think if there were more kids maybe who have parents that aren't as into fishing as you and I are, can get a child involved, they're going to love fishing too. It's a great, it's such a big passion of mine that it's easy for me to show it to my children, but I want to be able to show it to other kids as well. Maybe whose moms or dads don't get to fish or just haven't learned, but the kids want to. And, I get parents all the time that say, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'd love my child to fish. And you get Facebook messages and little things where hey, can you help show Johnny, how to go catch bass? Lake he can go to just go spend some time, and what could he throw to catch a fish? And then you get a little message back, hey, that Senko really worked that day. He went and caught his first bass. It's like you get a picture of a kid with their first fish, and it's just amazing. And so I think it's important that we as adults that are passionate, expose that to children and do as much as we can.
And we're going to answer some major questions that you guys are all thinking about right now, because the number one question for Eugene and Seth and Jeremy is, who and what ages will be available to participate? How do we turn kids away? What will they need? But let's just start off on who and at what age can participate, and then we can go into the format, because I've got a little tidbit of this, and it's pretty exciting. So let's start off with who and what.
Sure. So good question, Vince. I think just to highlight for everybody who's on, there's going to be two main groups. that are going to be eligible to participate in this amazing opportunity. So we're going to have one group that's going to be from 8 years of age as of January 1st of that current season until they graduate 8th grade, which will be considered a junior level club member. And then we have another group of kids who are going to be from 9th grade until they graduate high school and exit 12th grade. And those are going to be our high school club kids. And so there is an amazing opportunity from anyone from 8 years of age all the way up until they graduate high school to participate in this opportunity on the West Coast.
Wow. So 8th grade, or excuse me, 8 years old to 8th grade, and then 9th through the 12th grade.
Correct.
That's pretty incredible. Now, how do we reach some of those? What are we doing to reach some of those youth? I mean, this is where we are calling upon our viewers, our anglers, and utilizing the media platform that Jeremy has provided, Wild West Bass Trail. So I think as viewers and just outdoor enthusiasts, we all have a responsibility to share this. And I know there's a lot more going on. So maybe tell us what is your role, Eugene and Seth? You know, Seth, you're kind of quiet over there. What's your role? I mean,
so I'm going to be the director. So Eugene's going to be basically the big bad rule enforcer because his day job is analytics and he's better at that stuff than I am. So he's going to be the rule enforcer. If you have questions about rules, those will be directed to Eugene. If you have questions about processes or dates, that's probably going to come to myself and some of the marketing stuff that my wife is handling. What we've done, even for this video, is basically blast it out on our angling forums that we have in the state. And what we'd ask the adult anglers to do that are watching is if you can just tell your friends. A lot of us have friends with kids that age or grandkids that are that age, and maybe the granddad's fishing and the son isn't, but now the grandson wants to, or granddaughter wants to take part as well. You know, just get it out there when you're at the tackle shop. Talk shop about the U series. I think that's how it's going to grow, is by word of mouth. And I think once they see the opportunities that Jeremy's providing them with, I think it's going to spread like wildfire.
well, there's a rumor out there that this could be televised, at least one of the events. Is that true, Jeremy? That there's a possibility?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of this is building the media, the opportunities for self-promotion, give the kids an opportunity to really say, hey, that was me on TV. That's just like Zach mentioned, catching your first fish. Just to say, hey, tune in to my friends, that we're all in a computerized world. What better way to have them interact and have those friends that watch that now come and want to be a part of it. And hopefully that's a trend that takes place. So it's pretty exciting. Yes. And I mean, that's what we want to do. Build these anglers, these little guys, so that they're aware of how this thing is done the right way. Mentors like Seth, Eugene, Zach, the Apex guys, all across the board. It's a great opportunity for them to learn.
This is awesome. So real quick, we will put Eugene and Seth's contact in the notes for any questions. Before we move forward, what if I want to help out? I mean, they're going to contact you, correct? Like if you need help, you want them to contact you direct. Is that correct? Is that an oxymoron? Is that correct? I mean, is that right?
We'll take it. So yeah, if you guys are interested in helping out at an event, really, we're going to need some parents and volunteers. Usually we have a great group of volunteers here in Arizona to help us out, and we couldn't do it without them. But Eugene and I are going to be in uncharted territory when we head to these other arenas. So if you're interested in helping out in those events, I believe we're going to be traveling to those, and we really just need some hands on deck to, check live wells, do the normal tournament stuff, because we're trying to keep the cost as low as possible so all the funding can go back to the kids.
Awesome.
The goal is, hey, nobody's really making any money off of the kids. The goal is to give as much as we possibly can back to the kids, and we can do that with support and volunteer help. The email will be on the link if you're interested. Send me an email, and as we get closer, we might even just do a post and say, hey, we could use 3 or 4 hand volunteers to help us out at this event, and then just reach out to me and we can get you dialed in.
That's awesome.
To mention, Seth and Vince, might be the opportunity for volunteer captains, but also and get the word out there.
Okay, so let's touch base on that real quick before I go into this next segment. But what if well, we need to go on. Well, I don't want to jump ahead because we already talked about who and what, but so we know how they're gonna participate. So how do they get out there? Do they have to have their own boat?
Yeah, so the goal is for registration that you would be coming with a partner and a boat and a captain. So that they would register with all of those. And that is really just going to help keep it clean for us. We aren't going to be scrambling, hey, do I have a volunteer captain this way or this day for this kid? Because that just makes it a hectic process. If a captain has a flat tire and then you're down a boat. So the goal is to have all of these kids register with their teammate and their captain and their boat at the time of registration.
Okay, now let's just say my daughter doesn't want to go, but I know she will. And I want to get on a list of maybe a backup. Will we have a vehicle in place for people to put their name on a possible list to help out just in case, life happens, things happen, is there something that is available and how can they, how's this going to work?
Yep. So Vince, we don't have that dialed in yet. Once we get the tournament dates released, I would say a pool of probably 10 volunteer captains. We would just get contact names and numbers and basically how far away they are from the lake. Because if they're 6 hours away and they're going to be on backup, we need them to be relatively close in case we have a breakdown or something of that effect.
Awesome. And I know Luke Johns is going to be instrumental in this. I believe he contacted you, Jeremy, about wanting to be a big resource for Eugene and Seth and the whole trail. I mean, I think there's a lot of us that would want to do this. I think every Apex angler would want to show up and participate at some of these events, and whether it's helping MC or weighing in or captaining a boat or just a little seminar or just giving away things. I think we'd all want to be a part of that. So it's going to be exciting. I know, Zach, I mean, when we're going to go into another segment here, but we had the opportunity to fish, this protein event back in the day, and Eugene and Seth touched a little bit on how difficult it is sometimes to have those boaters, because this was all volunteer back then. We would have 90 to 150 kids, and then everyone else would have to donate their time, their boat, their gas money, which wasn't a problem, but it was just, you could never get the right amount. Yeah. And so now we have a tool in there. But Zach, I can remember the impact that had. I mean, that was just one event. I mean, this is going to be something.
Yeah, no, and I think, us as Apex anglers or just other pro anglers, whether they're fishing pro-ams or pro teams, it's important that we all try to spend a little bit of that time giving back to make sure they have those people. Because when those pro teams were going on, Andy Cuccia, he worked his tail off to make those events happen. And he would be on the phone, 10, 11 o'clock the night before. Hey, I need 2 more boats because we've got enough kids that want to fish tomorrow. We don't want to leave them on the dock, or piling kids onto boats, limits permitting and all that safety stuff. But it's really important that us adults, people that are already involved, realize how important one day of our, providing some time and use of our boat can be to a kid's life. I mean, you could literally be changing a life by taking a kid fishing for a day or a couple days. I mean, that's what happened to me as a young kid, because my father wasn't really big into fishing. He took me fishing, but it wasn't his thing. But I really loved it. And just meeting a few people, instrumental people over my young childhood changed my life. And we do that every time we take someone fishing. And so I think it's really important that anybody who has a boat, whether you fish a pro team, future pro, all the way up to the Apex, you taking that kid fishing for those days really makes an impact. So, I think with the backing that Jeremy provides with Wild West and what Eugene and Seth do out in Arizona, and we bring some of that energy to California and Nevada and wherever else it ends up growing to, there shouldn't be a problem with us spending some time to bring those kids out. So I think, hopefully we have more boats than we have kids, and then we can ask more kids to come out. and not make it the vice versa, where somebody says, oh, you know, I don't want to drive half an hour to a lake, or I'm busy that weekend. You know, it's like, you're usually busy fishing. So if you're going to go fishing, just, you know, help out with the kids once in a while. It's not like it's every weekend, but I think it's really important. It kept me out of a lot of trouble. It's going to keep, you know, a lot of these parents right now want their kids to be doing something other than being on the computer and being inside. And it's really important for us as anglers to help promote that.
I have to agree. As a parent myself, I do agree. Seth, Eugene, so they have to have a partner to fish this event?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you youth out there, you children out there, you young anglers out there, find yourself a good partner, figure it out, and then work, you know, try and find your boat captain. And that's the first step, correct?
That's correct.
And now, is there a membership fee? And if there is, what do they get with it?
So the membership fee is going to be $50. There's a lot of perks that go with that. So Jeremy's included the Bass Anglers magazine. He's going to throw that in with the kids. Probably some discounted, well, it is going to be discounted entry for the qualifiers. When we get to the fees later on, they're going to have a discounted entry to the qualifiers. And it's probably going to lead into possibly some contingencies that are only available to members.
Awesome. And I know with the contingencies, well, I don't know exactly who is participating. From a support standpoint, I can assure you that I know for a fact that, you know, Rick Pierce at Bass Cat is a huge advocate for youth. I know Mercury is, I know Garmin is, I know Fitzgerald is, just to name a few. I'm sure Gary Yamamoto is, and even P-Line and Hook. I don't know to what extent. I do know, Jeremy, that your partners have already reached out. Is that correct?
Yeah, we've had many positive feedback opportunities from them, some of which they do have current programs in place, but this will just enhance and provide different avenues to their current opportunities. So I think once they're piled together, it's going to be a really great opportunity for these kids.
Awesome. And I'm seeing a lot of questions come through. We will get to them. Please be a little patient. We've got people behind the scenes that I'll be answering. And if they're not answered during this broadcast, they will be answered shortly after. Guys, I would like you to tell me when and where the events are. I mean, 2022, where are they at? What can we expect?
Well, so here's how we'll break down this schedule. Anybody that has dates currently in California for the 21 season, that runs through 22. The Jamboree has not taken place yet, or the draw process, which will happen in July. There are no dates for 2022 in California. Now, we can say locations or anticipated locations. That's totally fine. But as far as exact dates dialed in, that won't be available probably until shortly after the Jamboree. So again, for California, that takes place mid to the end of July. And that goes for all of our dates in the Wild West and anybody that's participating in California tournaments with other organizations as well.
All right. But do we know, like, are they going to be on a Saturday or a Sunday? Do you have an idea of what these captains and the children can expect? And do we know how many? And is there a certain amount of events and a certain amount of open events that have already been figured out?
So what will take place is we're going to cover the West Coast with this opportunity. It's going to start for 22 in the Pacific Northwest, Northern California, Southern California, and in Arizona. So as far as actual locations, again, we'll have that schedule out when the dates are available. But I'll let Seth go on to the other details, and Eugene to cover your other part of that question.
Yeah. So Vince, after doing this for a couple of years now, we've realized that you can get a lot more participation, and it's easier for boat captains and parents alike if you can schedule them the Sunday after the team event. So when Jeremy holds a Wild West team event here in Arizona, we piggyback and follow that on the Sunday immediately, basically the next day. And then that way the kids can utilize the big stage and trailer and get the big show going. So it'll be an awesome opportunity when he comes out with his team dates. If you're wondering when the opens are going to be, it'll probably 99% likely be the day right after that team event.
That's awesome, actually, because now if the family wants to go a little bit early and possibly see what's happening on a larger scale, they can be a part of it, and it just adds to that buildup. And now with COVID kind of trickling down, we have a lot more opportunities to be involved with the kids, which I'm really excited about. Do we know what the entry fee is for the qualifiers, Jeremy?
Yeah, the entry fees for qualifiers would be $100, and that'll come with a $25 discount for members. So it'd be actually $75 for every event for the members. So non-members would be $100.
I've got to ask this question. I've had people ask me already when they heard about this. They don't have children, but they are motivated to be a part of it, and they don't have time, but they do have financial resources. And one of them asked if I would like to pay for, a team's tour or 5 events or for their season. Is that available? And how do they go about doing that? I know it's a little premature, but I mean, will there be a vehicle for them to kind of utilize to do this?
Yeah. So Vince, Jeremy and I have talked about this. We set up our organization in Arizona as a 501c3. We don't have that established for this series yet, but that's the long-term goal. And that'll show everybody that this is strictly for the kids. But if people want to donate this year and get the kids on the water, we have the avenue to where we can send them a receipt for the funds. What we would ask is they just email us directly. So if they have specific stipulations of where that goes, we can communicate with them and get that dialed in to make sure that it's going to the right avenue.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. And Zach, as well as I do, just from that protein event, there's a lot of children out there that don't have, well, they're single parent incomes, and gas is expensive right now. It's really, really expensive, and they may not have those resources. So, I mean, how important it is to these kids, and I think it's going to be exciting to know that someone can actually donate that. I'm looking at someone at Wickenburg already said that they've got dibs on sponsorship for Wyatt and Willow Starks. So it's already beginning. It's already beginning.
So yeah, that's another, Ace with Wickenburg Marine, awesome guy. He's somebody that my son has latched on to and got introduced at these Wild West team events. Now my son wants to go to school to be a boat mechanic. He's super excited about it. He loves turning wrenches with Ace. And those are the relationships that you're going to get from participating in these events. You're going to make lifelong friendships. Ace, I'm not going to say your birthday, but he just had a birthday, and he's probably 50 years to my son's senior. So, and they could be best friends.
Well, we have a very warm spot for Ace as well, because he follows the Pro-Ams and our Apex event, and he's actually been a very strong security blanket for us. He's our Mercury mechanic. They don't always go down. Actually, they very rarely go down, but when it does happen and accidents happen, he's been there, and he's actually wrenched on them quite quick, and we've seen it already just with one event as well as some of our Pro-Ams. So he's a fantastic wrench, and I think when he's there, he actually has the ability to work on some of your boats as well if you can't get into a local mechanic. So Ace, thank you very much. Wickenburg Marine seems to be on top of things, so it's great to have them. Now, is there going to be any contingencies for these kids? Because that's kind of nice, Jeremy. I mean, as professionals, I know that we have contingencies with Yamamoto and P-Line and Fitzgerald and Bass Cat. Man, the quest money is pretty big.
Yeah.
What else is out there? I mean, are we going to do this?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have that designated. A lot of the sponsors that are coming on board with this, it may be donated prize packs. It may be something particular that they can turn product into cash. It may be cash right up front. There's a lot of different things and ways that we'll be able to do this with the set structure. So again, those sponsors, those partners that are coming on board, they understand the importance of building the youth through the ground up. And so they have been gracious enough to help us out in those capacities.
That's awesome. And I did hear something about scholarships. So our youth that participate in this are going to have an opportunity for some scholarships. Now, I'm just going to speak for myself because we're putting my daughter through some private school right now, and I'm over it. So if I can get some Benjamins towards schooling, I'm all in. So we're going to have scholarships available for the youth. Is that correct?
That is correct. So everybody wants to hear about a no entry fee championship for pro side of things, for pro-ams and such. Well, we're actually going to do that for the kids. We're going to provide a scholarship opportunity, no entry fee. They qualify for the championship. They're going to be in line to compete against their peers for scholarship money. Of that, it'll be first place will go 25 as it sits right now. Now this can be increased, but this is what we're going to go in as planned. 2,500 per each individual for that team, so a total of 5,000 for first place, and then it'll go down. And Seth and I talked about it the other day, and we talked about 5 places. We're actually going to pay 10, and then we're going to throw prize packs and other things in there. So we're going to be approximately from 5th to 10th place. We're going to do $250. And then we're going to do prize packs after that, but it'll go 1,500, 500, and then it'll drop to 250 and down to 10th place. No entry fee again.
Now this is really interesting for all the viewers and listeners right now. So I just want to shed some light that even at the collegiate level, the scholarships really start right around the same price, or the same amount, I should say, not the same price. But being a West Coast angler, this is going to give them a little bit more visibility. Zach, you and I touched base on this. Eugene and Seth are doing their thing. They're growing these anglers. Everyone's helping the youth out. And coaches from Bethel, coaches from Auburn are thinking, there's some West Coast anglers out there that we might want.
Well,
and
yeah,
this is a nice, I'd like you to touch on that because, Charlotte and your boy was Sawyer, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they can help soften daddy's pocketbook if they do a little fishing.
Well, can I go back and get my master's and maybe somebody wants to pick me up, I can go. But, that's one thing that the parents and the kids should be thinking about, is because college fishing is huge. And a lot of these big universities that you don't have, you can get a degree in a lot of things while you're fishing, just like playing football, baseball, any sport. These big schools are looking for anglers and they recruit, and they do a lot of the recruiting back east because that's where a lot of the organizations currently are. And where do the most of the really, really good Eastern relocated fishermen come from? Out on the West Coast. So these kids are going to get a chance to be recruited, be seen by these big colleges that have big fishing programs. And it's going to be, whether they win sponsorship at the championship here, they're going to be seen by these recruits. There's going to be people looking to build their fishing teams, some West Coast anglers. And so whether or not you win the tournament, if you present yourself well, if you learn the tools that you need and you make some contacts, you could parlay that into a 4-year college degree and maybe more in the fishing industry. But kids on the West Coast don't have that direct route like they do if you grow up in Arkansas, Louisiana, Arizona. Arkansas, Tennessee, all these eastern areas where fishing is so much more popular overall. And that's what we're trying to do to help grow that community, grow the base. And so these kids have a huge opportunity just by participating and showing that not only are we good anglers, but we're good people, and we can help grow a program at any one of these colleges.
That's going to be actually exciting because we're going to see the kids start to get involved. And I've seen the video that y'all put out, and there's going to be a link in the description there for everyone to kind of click on. It's a little YouTube deal. But Jeremy, your daughter has been doing this for a while now, right? She's been participating in some of these youth events.
Yeah, she has. She's participated, and actually, Paul Hodges, he's been her boat captain, and she loves it. It gives her an opportunity. There's a few ponds around our neighborhood here, and she goes and throws in a line to practice her casting. You know, she's dialed in, and given circumstances, it's great. It's a great opportunity for her to kind of get out of the world of just sitting, be active, build a relationship base, camaraderie amongst the peers. They all congratulate themselves. I've seen Seth's, the kids there that fish the Junior Bassmasters, and they're all high-fiving each other, helping each other out on the boat, learning new techniques. It's growth in action. So it's a really cool environment.
Let's the environment a bit, and we're going to recap everything for the viewers so they know what's going on in the format again. I'm going to put you right back into it to just kind of do a recap of everything we just talked about, kind of a Cliff Notes version. But what about dress code? I mean, they're kids, but do we want to start them right? Do we want is there an expectation? I mean,
There is.
You know, we don't want to be too strict because they're kids, but I think it's important that we have some type of expectation. But at the same time, if they are not able to, I hope that we have the resources to help them get there. Is there a dress code, or what's the expectation? Anyone?
Oh,
Well, I think in essence, what we're looking for is we're trying to teach these kids to be presentable and how to present themselves well in a professional manner. So we don't want any lewd T-shirts. We don't want any derogatory sayings on them. And Jeremy can probably let you know if there's a way that we can help these kids out. What Eugene and I try and produce here in Arizona is, that comes first and foremost. The fishing comes second. Is the sportsmanship, how you treat your peers, how you treat your boat captain, how you treat the staff. If you're not doing that well and you're not doing what you should be doing, then you're not a valid representative of the club, or the organization. Jeremy's worked really hard to develop this strong brand, and the last thing we want to do is erode that by allowing some of these areas to fester.
And I think that grows, right, Seth, from outside of the club, the school, relationship with family and friends. And it gives them that base and that base knowledge to just be better individuals and know how to do that in life. And that's an important lesson for a lot of these kids, and for them to lean on each other for too, because everybody knows what those expectations are.
That's awesome.
So we'll be providing a link and a program for them to obtain their jersey, a professional jersey, be standard. They'll be able to have a hoodie during those colder months. And then for those that may or may not have the resources, then we'll be able to discuss that at that time and provide an outlet for them as well. So,
I'm sure there's a lot of people that would be willing to help. I think it's just a matter of putting it out there. Real quick for the viewers, be sure to share this in order to be eligible for the Torch giveaway. These are Torch glasses. They're fantastic glasses. Outside of seeing into the future, the vision, the visual perspective on these lenses is just fantastic, and it's wonderful product. They're one of our partners, I should say. So be sure to share that to be eligible. Also, we're giving away some Bridgeford jerky to another 5 people. So nice hat there, Eugene. I like it. We're really appreciative of Bridgeford. We're very, very okay. I'm lost because I see Eugene under the Bridgeford hat and Seth under the A&M hat. Is this backwards?
No, he just likes the beef.
Oh, okay.
I guess
okay. Spoken from someone who knows.
I just got word from Dan Hernandez. He's gonna play a major role in our trophies for the kids. So expectations and trophies and plaques that you've seen on the professional side and pro-ams, he's coming to step up and help us out there too. So thanks to Dan for that. Appreciate the support, bud.
That's awesome. I know the trophies are very impressive. You know, there's a good question that just came out by Sean Haney. He asked, how long are these tournaments going to be? And we're going to recap a little bit about the events, but how is this a full 8-hour event, 10-hour event, or is it just 6 hours? What's the length of them?
I think for the opens, we're going to be going to the 3 o'clock weigh-in. Safe light is probably when we're going to launch. So nautical safe light, we're going to follow the same Wild West pattern. So whatever the teams launch at the day before, that's when we will be launching with the youth the next day, just to keep it consistent. As far as the championship goes, correct me if I'm wrong, Jeremy, but we're going to go with a 2-day event.
That's
so
correct.
That's the only one that's going to be a 2-day. So full fields both days. So there won't be an elimination. And I wanted to touch base on that. I talked with Jeremy. How you qualify, it's going to be the easiest for these kids to qualify for the championship of any series that I have seen. For the open qualifiers, top 10. That's what's going, right? So that is an amazing opportunity for these kids. We're going to have a ton of boats at the championship, but then that allows us to have a consistent number. So top 10 boats are going. So if you have 100 boats there, 10 are going. If you have 50 boats there, 10 are going. Encourage your friends to get out. Like I said, that's probably the best percentage that you're going to find to qualify for a West Coast championship with that much scholarship money.
Exciting. Really, really exciting. So we expect this to launch. We'll launch 2022. We know that.
Yep.
We know that the events will be held on a Sunday. We do know that. We do know it will be opened as what's the other word? I just blanked out. We will have open events and then we'll have qualifying events. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the opens are going to act as the qualifiers. So you'll have open qualifiers, like Jeremy said, the Pacific Northwest, Northern California, and Southern California. So stay tuned for those dates. And then our Arizona circuit, we're basically acting as a pilot circuit this year to see if it is a viable option for California. And the more California-based anglers and Pacific Northwest anglers that jump in, that's going to show Jeremy that he has the support to maybe pursue some of these club options in those areas.
Awesome. So, and then again, let's recap the ages from 8th to 8th grade, correct?
Correct.
And
that's block 1 for juniors.
That's block 1, the juniors. And then 9th grade to 12th grade, which is the high school.
Correct.
And the format is different or the same?
Nope, it's the same. So it's still going to be 2-person teams with a boat captain, 5 fish limit, joint weight, so 5 fish between the two of them. So that'll be awesome. And 8th to 8th grade is fishing against 8th to 8th grade, and high school is fishing against high school. So if the question is, hey, is my young kid going to be fishing against some of these older anglers? No, there's a cap. It's gonna keep it clean. No high schoolers are going to come poach some 8th graders.
Awesome. And then entry fees are
$100 for the open qualifiers. But if you're a member, you get all the bonus benefits. Plus, it drops that open qualifier cost down to $75.
And then, is there a membership?
Yep, membership cost is $50.
Right. And now, how about if they're a boat captain? Do they need to be a member?
No. So boat captains do not need to be a member. I would strongly encourage it. Talking through with Jeremy, there might be some opportunities on the team side. So if the boat captain is fishing the team circuit the day before, there might be some opportunities if they're boat captaining for an angler on that following Sunday.
Okay. That's a lot of information. So
it is. So my email's in the chat.
All right. All in all, this is just a fantastic opportunity for the youth. Jeremy, Eugene, and Seth, my hat's off to you. I know that as a father, I know Zach, I don't want to put words into his mouth, but we talked earlier about, how special this is to have these avenues for our kids, and more importantly for the kids that don't have the opportunity. That's the asterisk there. Zach is fortunate to be able to take care of this, with his kids and take them out there. I've seen them out there. I have the same opportunity as well, but what about the kids that don't have that opportunity? Right. So this is something absolutely awesome. Again, Make sure you share this. They will be announcing the winner here, most likely by the end of the week. By the end of the week or Monday, because I know that we've got like a tournament coming up here shortly. Eugene and Seth, run down everything again. I know that I'm kind of blurting stuff out, but run down it again.
So we are going to wait for, I wanted to touch this. We didn't talk about it. Registration is going to start September. Okay, so we're going to open the link for registration to start September. That way everybody has time to digest the dates. Parents and captains can start getting their schedules put together, see what works out. So September, that link will open. The link to the webpage is in the chat. We've already developed a webpage, Instagram, Facebook. That should already be up and going. And if you come across your photos and stuff, send them to us. I mean, we love to help share the joy that's on your kids' faces. So $100 open qualifier entry fee, $50 membership. But on that open qualifier, if you're a member, it's only $75. So some savings there if you're fishing more than one event. Contingencies, you have to be a member to get them. Okay, so remember that. Does the boat captain have to be a member? No, but there's probably some pretty good benefits if they are to the traditional Wild West membership.
I think, and then the two age groups that we have. So we have the juniors who are 8 years old until 8th grade. We have the high schoolers that are 9th grade to 12th grade. And then the format, which is a team format, 2 anglers. And then they have a combined 5 fish limit.
All right. So we'll have more information with a link also on the Wild West Bass site. Zach, you had a question?
Well, no, I just want to say, for some of the parents maybe that are out there that don't have a boat, or maybe they want to get their kids involved and don't know how, I recommend, reaching out to the anglers Facebook, direct message on Instagram or Facebook, hit me up, hit Vince up, say, hey, we want our kids to fish. We don't know how, how can we get involved? You'd be amazed how many people would be willing to take your kids fishing, if you just reach out and ask. So you might not know somebody that already knows how to fish. You might not know somebody that has a boat, but you want to get involved. We all have Facebook pages. We all have Instagram accounts. Just reach out. Let us know. If we can't do it, we'll recommend somebody maybe that we know that lives near you. But definitely reach out. Most of us, we just love to fish and we'd love to teach other kids how to fish. So please reach out.
You're right, Zach. I mean, we can only do so much and give them that, but we've got to create a little bit of push to reach out to us so we know. Reach out so we know.
We're just people that like to fish. Think of it that way,
Yeah, some a little bit more than others. Let's see here. If there's any more questions, put them in the comments. Eugene and Seth, I'd like to thank you very much for what you're doing and what you're donating. I can't imagine the work that is. If it's not there now, it will be. And Jeremy, I don't know how you're pulling this all off, to be honest with you, because we've talked a little bit. I don't know if it's pure alcohol or just coffee that you're drinking, because I couldn't do it. It's just a very large piece of the pie that you guys are biting right now, and it's exciting though to see it. And I know why. I know how it's happening, because you've got a lot of strong supporters. And again, when it comes to youth, we all need to take a bigger role. Need to take a bigger role.
And that's what it comes down to. Those 2 gentlemen right there and a bunch of people behind the scenes making things work. So
this is awesome.
Tremendous support group.
This is awesome. Real quick, we're just going to cap it off here because we're at about 55 minutes. We've got a Clear Lake Pro-Am, Jeremy, coming up. I'm leaving tomorrow.
Yeah.
I know Joey Rebay's on the road right now. He's been texting around how excited he is to throttle these fish. We've got that coming up. And then in 31 days, we've got Apex at Lake Comanche. I had the opportunity to spend some time over there. It was hot. The fish were biting quite well. It's going to change in 30 days, Zach. But are you excited for this? I mean, I'm chomping at the bit.
No, I can't wait. I got to spend some time up there pre-practice, and it's a great lake. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be great that we don't get any information for 30 days. So we're all going to show up, do our ride round, and we're going to go put the rods in the water and we're going to go catch some fish. I'm really excited. The format is unbelievably exciting. Get to keep track on Tourney X and see how everybody's doing. I know I ran into you a couple times at Almanor. I mean, sometimes you don't want to see how things are going, and sometimes
You're right.
but it's exciting. It's a new way of looking at things. I'm just really excited for the future, and I'm looking forward to it.
And this might be a great opportunity for Jeremy, for Eugene and Seth. Maybe we put a link for the youth that wants to watch and follow along. They can see the anglers, catching fish, and
they may be their boat captain one day.
You never know. But what about spectators, Jeremy? Are we allowing spectators at this point? I know we had quite a bit of crowd at Almanor, even in the snow. They showed up. I mean, is this something that we're going to start promoting a little bit more now that COVID's kind of on the downside?
Yeah, from what I hear in California, June 15th, things are going to open up significantly. We're still under a COVID restriction protocol at Clear Lake, but that's for the Pro-Am this weekend. But if you come out and walk the park, it is what it is. So
whoopsie.
So yeah, but no, for Comanche, we look forward to it. In fact, the Wednesday, and I believe that is July 7th, we will have a seminar with Apex Anglers at the Hooked Bait and Tackle Shop there in Ione. They are actually going to shut down part of Main Street for this event, put banners up welcoming the Apex group. It's a big to-do, so we really appreciate what's taking place over there at the Hook Tackle Shop as well.
I heard Zach's going to put them 3 giant trophies on his boat and just tour them around the city.
He's got the fanfare.
He should be proud. I mean, he's an accomplished angler, and Zach, we've competed a long time. We traveled a little bit together and have had some good times. So I have to say that the Apex group, the camaraderie is something that I haven't seen in years. And to see everyone like that and helping out each other, I should say, it's a different feel. And if you're not a part, if you know, and if you don't know, you won't ever know.
Well,
but you want to know.
Yeah, no, it's so true. It can be really intimidating for new anglers to show up to Pro-Am events, and try to get into the groove and meet these new anglers, meet people that they've maybe heard the name or seen them on a boat, but haven't actually talked to them. It can be intimidating. And some anglers don't necessarily want to talk to new anglers. It's just it's something that unfortunately got kind of, a part of the Western culture of tournament angling for a while. But I have noticed the same thing, Vince. We show up to the Apex meetings, we show up to the events, and we're just 30 guys that love to fish, and we just want to, but at the same time, we want to beat each other's brains in. But we're not doing it at the expense of each other. We're doing it, we're round robining to help put people's boats in the water. We're helping them get the boats out of the water. We're assisting if they have issues. We're all rooming together. We're going to dinner, having barbecues, like you said. But so you don't lose the competitive nature just because you're at a high level. It's actually kind of bringing that camaraderie back. Because back when I started, which to me doesn't seem like that long ago, but it was 20-something years ago, there were small groups and there were people that got along, and then there were people that you didn't really see. And then it started to get away from that to where everybody wanted to be by themselves, and it wasn't much fun. But it's a lot more fun now. And with the Wild West Pro-Ams, it's just an extension of that. And there's a lot of young guys like Luke Johns, for example, came through college ranks, with Pro-Am. He's as accepted as some of these older guys that have been there even longer than me, so I mean, we're old guys now. We used to be kids.
I know.
But
I know.
It is
We're
really
old.
exciting. It's really exciting. And, I think it just goes to show that, people that are passionate about fishing are passionate about fishing. And when you put kind of some of the politics aside, it's all the same. And we just, it's not about the money. It's not about anything. It's about the trophy, and it's about the bragging rights, and it's about, leaving it all in the water And that's what we do. And that first Apex at Almanor really showed that. I mean, it was
intense for sure. It was definitely intense. And you know, this is going to be a great learning opportunity for the kids as well. You know, because when I saw some of the highlights and some of the photos, I literally thought about Apex, because they aren't thinking, oh, this guy's moving in on my water. They're thinking about having a good time. They're thinking about catching fish. And you know what? I think, you know what? I would like to formally introduce as many kids as possible to Ione. You know, get up there. I'll make an effort to be over there and support my fellow anglers that are giving the seminars, to be over at the Hooked tackle shop. And if it's just talking to them, I'll just talk to them. If they want a tour of one of the guys' boats, you know, let's get them up in there. If they want some photos, let's do it. If they just want to talk fishing, this is a great opportunity, you know. And I know that we're inviting them out to Ione, but I'm pretty sure that Jeremy's probably going to create an environment for us, or an avenue for us anglers to be there for the youth events. So look forward to us being there. I'm looking forward to being there and helping out in any way. I'll go above and beyond and tell you guys that I will donate. I don't know how many California events will there be.
There'll be 2. Well, there'll be more than 3 plus the championship. So
4. I will donate 4 fishing rods, brand new Fitzgerald rods, you know, myself, for, you know, maybe first out of the money or for that group. So actually I'll donate 8 because there's 2 anglers. So I'm on the hook for 8. So I'll do that, you know, and I don't have a problem doing that, because I think it's just something that we all need to do.
Well, I don't know if you saw, Vince, Wickenburg Marine Ace just is challenging all other businesses to match the $1,250 commitment to the Wild West Bass Trail Youth Program.
Well, I'm at $1,600, Ace. I'm just letting you know right now. I'm good. I'm good. All right. I think that's it. I mean, we're all pretty excited about the whole thing. Thanks for allowing me to be a part of this and hosting the show, Zach. You know, I've known you a long time. You're great to speak with. I think maybe you need to run one of these things so I can go out and have my dinner and relax on my recliner. Eugene and Seth, I believe we're going to have probably another live event as soon as we get closer to the season. Jeremy, I know once the Jamboree happens, we'll definitely I just seen he's going to donate baits. Nick's another Apex angler, guys, that is a fantastic angler person, and he's a great father. I watch all of the social media. He's taking his kids out, his wife out. Yeah, they're a fishing family. You know, I'm very lucky to, you know, have him as a friend and a competitor out there. We're lucky to have him part of Apex. Thank you very much, Nick, and let's challenge everyone else. But I kind of lost my train of thought. You know, there's just a lot going on, Jeremy, and
we're just touching the edge of it all. We've got a lot of information coming out, guys. A lot of exciting things. A lot of new information about Apex, the future of Wild West Bass Trail, and it's not going to be a dull moment. I will tell you that.
No, not at all. Not at all. All right. Any last words, Eugene and Seth, before we cut out? And real quick, we will have a live event. We're going to be having more shows, but specifically, you will announce the dates for the tournament, for all the tournament or all the tournament dates, with 24 hours or this week of the Jamboree. Is that correct?
Yeah. As soon as we complete the Jamboree or whatever the process may be in California, we will post the dates along with additional information, but that will be all series for within Wild West and Apex as well.
Awesome. Okay, Eugene and Seth. So I'm sure we're going to do this again. Zach, I know we're going to do this again. I'm looking forward to getting to Clear Lake. Everyone out there, thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to tune in to the live blast off, to the meetings over at Clear Lake. I think this is going to be a slugfest. I was over there. There's a lot of fish biting right now. A lot of fish biting. I think it's going to be another slugfest. So be sure to tune into that.
Oh, real quick.
Yes.
For those that are in Clear Lake area, Joe Uribe will be at the Walmart tomorrow, and he will be there from, I forgot to mention this, 4 to 5 p.m. Handing out beef jerky meetings. So if you guys are around that area, you want to meet one of the Apex pros, pick his brain about some fishing techniques. He's a talented, trophyized angler. So,
and I just want to chime in real quick regarding Joey Uribe. He is a huge advocate of promoting fishing, regardless of how old you are. So be sure to say hello to him. Take advantage of that opportunity. He'll load you up with jerky. That's for sure. And, we want to thank Bridgeford Meats for their support, Bridgeford Outdoors for, partnering with Wild West and actually supporting the youth now. That's just a fantastic partner for us. Jeremy, any last words? And then I'm going to go around the table. I mean, you're the owner. You're the guy that's creating this monster.
We're ready to roll.
Eugene and Seth.
Hey, I just want to say thank you to Jeremy and for you, Vince, for helping us put this together. And my wife, Nicole, she's the one that set up the website and was able to dial all that in for us. Just a huge thanks. And I look forward to, the same support from the California anglers that we've seen out here in Arizona. So I'm sure you guys are up to the task.
Awesome. How about you, Zach?
Yeah, I just want to reiterate, reach out to us. If you want your kids to get involved in fishing and you don't know someone who already fishes, reach out. We're all approachable, and please don't hesitate.
All right. 68 minutes, probably our longest show. We try and keep it. I was shooting for 45. That didn't work.
45, yeah.
But that didn't work. Anyways, thank you all for tuning in. Wild West Bass Trail and Apex, Wild West Youth, Wild West Bass Youth Series. We've got kayak. What else? Am I missing anything else?
We just wrapped up a
teams.
team event at Diamond Valley. We've got Southern Cal, Northern Cal, Arizona. There is information that's going to be announced here shortly about the Pacific Northwest and the team series that's going on up there in 22. We just want to make sure that the brand is provided as an opportunity for all. So,
all right, we're gonna sign off here, people. Thank you all again for listening and tuning in. Share this segment. It's important. It's our responsibility, and we're going to challenge all of you to help out however you can, even if it's just by sharing this show. So thank you again, and we appreciate it, and we will talk to you all very, very soon.